We often see Hollywood stars living glamorous lives filled with red carpets, luxury cars, and million-dollar mansions. But the reality for some actors is quite different. These once-adored stars have traded in their designer outfits for orange jumpsuits, finding themselves behind bars instead of on the big screen. Their stories involve shocking crimes, betrayals, and dark secrets that shattered their careers and reputations. Before we get into the video, please subscribe to the channel. Number 1. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson, once celebrated for his role as the rebellious Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, had a career that was soaring in the early 2000s. His character was a fan favorite, known for his deadpan humor and cool guy persona. But behind the scenes, there was a much darker side to the actor. In 2017, the LAPD opened an investigation into Masterson after 3 women accused him of sexually assaulting them between 2001 and 2003 at his home in Hollywood Hills. The accusations were horrifying, and the trial revealed a deeply disturbing pattern of abuse. Masterson, a member of the Church of Scientology, was accused of using his connections to the organization to silence his victims. The Church of Scientology, in turn, was accused of protecting Masterson and discouraging the women from coming forward. Despite these efforts, the truth emerged. In 2023, Masterson was found guilty on 2 counts of rape and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. The conviction was a massive victory for the Me Too movement and a major turning point for the women who had been silenced for so long. Hollywood's reaction was swift. Masterson's name was wiped from any association with his past projects, and even his That 70s Show co-stars had to address his actions publicly. His conviction not only destroyed his career but also cast a dark shadow over one of the most beloved sitcoms of the 90s and early 2000s. Number 2. Harvey Weinstein. If anyone's downfall can be described as a seismic shift in Hollywood, it's Harvey Weinstein's. The powerful movie mogul, known for producing award-winning films like Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and The King's Speech, was once one of the most influential figures in the entertainment world. But behind his glittering success, Weinstein harbored a dark and predatory secret. In 2017, explosive reports from the New York Times and the New Yorker exposed decades of sexual abuse, harassment, and rape. Dozens of women came forward, including A-list actresses like Ashley Judd, Rose McGowan, and Gwyneth Paltrow, accusing Weinstein of using his power to sexually exploit and intimidate them. The revelations sparked the Me Too movement, with more than 80 women eventually speaking out against him. Weinstein was convicted in 2020 of rape and a criminal sexual act in New York and sentenced to 23 years in prison. In 2021, he was extradited to Los Angeles, where he faced more charges of rape and assault. Despite his attempts to appeal, Weinstein remains incarcerated, serving his time in a maximum security prison. Hollywood's response was swift and ruthless. He was ousted from his own company, stripped of his accolades, and has become a pariah in the industry. The conviction was a watershed moment, symbolizing a turning point for victims of abuse in Hollywood. Weinstein's name, once synonymous with prestige, is now a cautionary tale of power, corruption, and a long-overdue reckoning. Number 3. Allison Mack. Allison Mack's transformation from a beloved TV actress to a convicted criminal is nothing short of shocking. Mack rose to fame playing Chloe Sullivan on Smallville, where she portrayed a sweet and loyal sidekick to Clark Kent. But her real life took a darker turn when she became involved with NXIVM, a supposed self-help group that was actually a cult-like organization involved in sex trafficking and manipulation. In 2018, Mack was arrested for her role as a top recruiter for NXIVM's leader, Keith Raniere. The court proceedings revealed a disturbing pattern of manipulation where Mack used her celebrity status to lure in young women. Once they joined, they were coerced into a secretive subgroup called DOS, where they were branded, forced into sexual servitude, and manipulated into providing damaging personal information. Mack pleaded guilty to racketeering and conspiracy charges in 2021 and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Hollywood, stunned by the revelations, immediately distanced itself from the disgraced actress. Her co-stars spoke out in shock and condemnation, and the once beloved Smallville star has become a symbol of how far someone can fall. Her story is a cautionary tale of a celebrity who went from inspiring young fans to exploiting and abusing them. Number 4. Chris Wu. Chris Wu, a Chinese-Canadian singer and former member of the K-pop group EXO, was on his way to becoming an international superstar. He was making waves not only in the Asian music scene but also in Hollywood, with roles in films like XXX, Return of Xander Cage, and Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. But his rising star came crashing down in 2021 when multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Wu was arrested in Beijing on charges of rape, with accusations that he had used his fame to lure underage girls and young women into dangerous situations. In 2022, he was convicted of raping 3 women and sentenced to 13 years in prison. The scandal didn't just end with his imprisonment. Wu was also ordered to pay over $80 million in fines for tax evasion. The accusations against Wu sent shockwaves through the Asian entertainment industry and sparked a massive public outcry. Fans who once idolized him were left grappling with the horrifying details of his actions. Wu's fall from grace was swift and brutal, and he will be deported from China after serving his sentence. The scandal has made it nearly impossible for him to rehabilitate his image, and his once promising career is all but destroyed. Number 5. R. Kelly. R. Kelly's music career was legendary, with chart-topping hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition. But for years, rumors swirled about his abusive behavior towards young girls. It wasn't until the 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly aired that the full extent of his predatory behavior was revealed. The docuseries featured testimonies from dozens of women who accused the singer of running an abusive sex cult, grooming minors, and keeping women in a state of psychological imprisonment. The outcry was immediate and legal action followed. Kelly was arrested and charged with sex trafficking, child pornography, and obstruction of justice. In 2021, he was found guilty in a New York court on 9 counts of racketeering and sex trafficking. In 2022, he was sentenced to an additional 20 years in a Chicago trial for child pornography charges, bringing his total prison sentence to 31 years. Kelly's conviction was celebrated by his victims and their families, and Hollywood turned its back on the disgraced singer. His music has been pulled from playlists, and his once immense influence in the music industry has evaporated. For many, Kelly's downfall was long overdue, and his time in prison marks the end of an era defined by his sinister control over his victims. Number 6. Michael Jace. Michael Jace, known for his role as Officer Julian Lowe on The Shield, had a reputation for playing tough and complex characters on screen. But in 2014, the actor's real-life actions shocked fans and the entertainment industry alike. Jace was arrested for shooting his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles home, while their young children watched in horror. He was immediately taken into custody and charged with murder. The case revealed a history of domestic violence that had gone unnoticed for years. Jace claimed that he shot his wife in a fit of rage after suspecting her of infidelity. The jury didn't buy his excuse, and in 2016 he was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Hollywood quickly distanced itself from Jace, and his acting career, once promising, is now completely tarnished. The brutal nature of his crime shocked even those who knew him well, and his name has become synonymous with betrayal and violence. His actions have erased any positive legacy he might have had from his time on The Shield, leaving behind only a tragic and disturbing story of jealousy turned deadly. Number 7. Shannon Guess Richardson. Shannon Guess Richardson was a minor actress with small roles on shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. But in 2013, she made headlines for a crime far more serious than anything she played on screen. Richardson was arrested for sending ricin-laced letters to President Barack Obama and New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg in a bizarre attempt to frame her estranged husband. The FBI tracked the letters back to Richardson, and she was charged with possessing and producing a biological toxin. In 2014, she was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison, and she won't be eligible for parole until 2028. Hollywood has all but forgotten her, and the case has become a strange footnote in the entertainment industry. A story of a desperate woman who resorted to extreme measures in a twisted attempt to ruin her ex. Number 8. Jen Shah. Jen Shah, known for her role on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, shocked fans when she was arrested in 2021 for her role in a nationwide telemarketing scheme that defrauded elderly and working-class people out of millions. Shah pleaded guilty in 2022 and was sentenced to 6.5 years behind bars. The scandal rocked the reality TV world, as Shah's on-screen persona as a wealthy, glamorous housewife was exposed as a front for her fraudulent activities. The show continued without her, but her arrest became a major storyline, turning her from reality TV royalty to a disgraced con artist. Number 9. Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle, once famous for losing weight on a diet of Subway sandwiches and becoming the brand's spokesperson, was arrested in 2015 on charges of child pornography and sex crimes. Fogle pleaded guilty and was sentenced to over 15 years in federal prison. His wholesome image was shattered, and he became one of the most reviled figures in recent memory. Fogle has made numerous attempts to appeal his sentence and claims that he was unfairly targeted, but his pleas have been dismissed by the courts. He remains behind bars with his once promising career in ruins and his name forever linked to one of the most disturbing celebrity scandals. Number 10. Kaylan Walker. Kalen Walker was a rising rapper and actor, known for his role in the movie Superfly and his budding music career, but his promising future was shattered in 2022 when he was convicted of multiple counts of rape. Walker had used his status as an actor and musician to lure young models and aspiring actresses, promising them fame and connections in exchange for sexual favors. The trial revealed that Walker's predatory behavior spanned years, with multiple women coming forward to testify against him. His actions were described as manipulative and predatory, and the details painted a picture of a man who used his influence to exploit vulnerable women. Walker was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison, a sentence that reflects the severity of his crimes. The entertainment industry swiftly distanced itself from him, and his career was over before it even really began. Walker's case is a stark reminder of how quickly a rising star can become a cautionary tale. The stories of these Hollywood stars who ended up in jail show just how quickly a glamorous life can turn into a nightmare. Whether through crime, abuse of power, or a dark double life, these actors went from the pinnacle of success to rock bottom,